Hey, welcome back to another edition of Wise Notes. I'm Greg Voisen. I'm the host of Inside Personal Growth and these short little videos about the books that we do interviews on at Inside Personal Growth. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about sales is really dead wrong? That the pushy, manipulative tactics that make your skin crawl are actually the reason most salespeople fail. Well, today, I'm breaking down a sales philosophy that's flipping the industry on its head. And this comes from a guy who went from being a bank robber to a multimillionaire dealership owner, and it's an amazing story. So people don't buy what you do, Luke says. They buy why you do it. And that's the most important thing. They buy from people they trust. So let's meet Luke Lunkenheimer. His story reads like a Hollywood script, but it's 100% real. This small town kid had football dreams, crushed by injuries, turns to car sales, then hits six-figure income in his teens. Success story, right? Well, wrong. Success couldn't have saved him from a pain-killing addiction that led to the lowest point imaginable, and that's when he committed a bank robbery that led him to prison. But here's where it gets interesting. In the cell, Luke had what he calls a miracle revelation. He realized he'd spent his entire life taking from people, and at that moment of rock bottom, it became the foundation for his company, Paid to Persuade, which brings a different approach to sales. So when he got out, a former boss took a chance on him with a $150,000 loan. Luke built that into 3 dealerships that grew in net worth to over $12 million. But that's not the real gold, I should say. The sales philosophy he discovered along the way was really the real gold. And here's what he says about the problem with traditional sales. Luke calls traditional sales training fundamentally flawed. And honestly, he's right. Think about it. Salespeople are taught to push products into people or onto people, overcome objections, and basically talk someone into something that sometimes they don't want. But here's the thing Luke discovered. No human being, short of being drugged, will ever do something they fundamentally don't want to do. So you can't sell ice to an Eskimo. It's a logical fantasy. So what's the alternative? Luke teaches something he calls compassionate interrogation. And before you worry about what the word interrogation means, he literally means to give a crap. Actually caring about the conversation and the person that you're talking to. So, because here's the science that's been proven. When people receive authentic communication, even if they don't like what's being said, they absorb it 4 times greater. So the rate really is kind of amazing. So that led him to Paid to Persuade philosophy. So what exactly does Luke teach at Paid to Persuade? 3 game-changing principles that he talks on. 1, 2, 3. So first, ruthless authenticity. Luke tells a story about a trainee named Ricky, a pot-smoking, video game-playing guy who thought he had to put on his fake sales voice. Luke told him, but because who you are, and you got to be like who you are. And you really know that when you do that, customers will make a connection with the real Ricky in a way that isn't fake. So turn that off and turn on your authenticity. He also talks about mindset over skill set. Luke would rather hire a green, motivated person with 0 experience than a veteran with all the training in the world. Why? Because mindset can be shaped, but ego and bad habits, they're a lot harder to fix. So his third point, the active listening response. This isn't just repeating what someone said. It's talking their words back, processing them, adding your own understanding, and confirming your alignment. It builds clarity, confidence, and connection all in one. But here's what makes the difference from every other sales training. Luke doesn't just teach sales techniques. He teaches what he calls transformational selling. And he calls it transformational selling. And it's about becoming comfortable, being completely authentic, even vulnerable with your prospect. Think about it. When was the last time a salesperson admitted that they wouldn't buy the product that they were selling you? Luke teaches his people to do exactly that when it's true. Would I buy this truck, he says. No, it's not for me, but maybe for you. Based on what you told me, you'd be crazy to leave without it, right? So this builds trust at a level that most salespeople never reach. And trust, that's where the magic happens. But here's the best part. Luke's so confident in his approach that he does offer something no other sales training company does: a money-back guarantee. If you don't see a monetary increase in your sales, you get a full refund for his course, which, by the way, it's extremely affordable anyway. So Luke's built this into what he calls the 3 C's: content, confidence, and cadence. You get the framework, the mindset shift, and the ongoing practice. And get this, the ongoing training costs are about the half of what you'd spend on a sale bill. So research shows that 90% of sales training is forgotten within 90 days. But Luke's approach is different. It's not about memorizing scripts. It's about fundamentally changing how you see sales and how you see yourself in the sales process. So whether you're in car sales, real estate sales, B2B, or any industry, whether you need to persuade people, this isn't just about making more money. Though you will, it's about feeling good about what you do. It's about building genuine connections. It's about sleeping well at night, knowing what you're helping people to do is you're not manipulating them. So, what I've said here should make a lot of sense to anybody that's attempting to get into sales or is already in sales and wants to hone their game. So look, if you're tired of feeling slimy about sales, if you want to be authentic and successful, and if you're just curious about this whole approach, check out Paid to Persuade. You can find Luke on Instagram at Luke Lunk, all right? He's got over 19,000 followers and calls himself the only sales trainer who guarantees results. Or go directly to www.paid2persuade, persuade.com to explore everything they offer. So remember this, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And in the world full of pushy salespeople, being the one who actually gives a damn, that's your competitive advantage. So that's this wise note about Luke Lunkenheimer and his Paid to Persuade training. It really is, he is a very cool guy, and this is a good program. So go be your authentic, awesome selves that you are. Appreciate you listening to this wise note about Luke Lunkenheimer and Paid to Persuade. Thanks so much, and look for the show notes below, and look for my full interview with Luke Lunkenheimer on Inside Personal Growth.